How good was Yannick Bolasie, by the way?
In a season where fairy tales are no longer fiction, Yannick Bolasie's story represents another compelling rise.
It was an opportunity to play football, and that's all I wanted to do, really. And I think that shaped me up for the rest of my career, to be honest.
Most of us remember him for his time at Crystal Palace for being one of the most skillful ballers we've ever seen.
As a team, we've done well, and we've taken up the opportunity to have a chance to play on a big stage.
In an era of technical rigidity and statistical obsession, one player dared to be different. His name was Yannick Bolasie. With his unpredictable dribbling and playground-inspired skills, he injected a dose of raw excitement into the Premier League when it actually needed it the most. Between the years of 2012 and 2016, the Congolese winger became the embodiment of football's forgotten arts. Playing with joy, playing with creativity, and a willingness to attempt the impossible.
Welcome to the footy zone, where the ball rolls free. From the Premier to the Liga, this the place to be. Champions rise, underdogs dream to the creek. In the footy zone, where the world can agree.
Born in Lyon to Congolese parents and raised in London, Yannick Bolasie's path to the Premier League was anything but conventional. Unlike academy-polished talents that we see today, he learned his trade in the unforgiving environment of non-league football, with Hillingdon Borough, then Malta's Floriana, before climbing through the English football pyramid with Plymouth, Bristol City, and finally Crystal Palace. Former Crystal Palace teammate Mal Jedinak recalled this about Bolasie. He said, Yannick brought something different from day one. He hadn't been coached out of him. That freedom, that expression. He played football like it was still a game, not just a profession. On a cold December afternoon in 2014 at White Hart Lane, Bolasie unveiled what would become his signature move. Receiving the ball near the touchline, he flicked it with his right foot, spun 360 degrees, and collected it with the same foot on the other side of Tottenham's Christian Eriksen.
Yannick Bolasie. It's the uniqueness of it. It's the way he flicks and moves the ball and stuff. And obviously you've got the Bolasie Flick move where he pulls it back and flicks it around the defender. It's unbelievable.
The Bolasie Flick was born. The statistics don't capture such moments of magic, but they spread like wildfire across social media. Within days, children across playgrounds were attempting to replicate it. Even professional footballers were mesmerized by this incredible skill. Even Arsenal legend Ian Wright had to comment about this. He stated, what Bolasie did was bring street football to the Premier League. That flick wasn't something you learn at academies, it's something you perfect when you're playing for the love of the game.
Change of approach as well by Crystal Palace. Brilliantly done by Bolasie to get away from Eriksen.
While Yannick Bolasie's highlight reel suggests pure improvisation, the numbers reveal a method to the madness. In the 2014-15 season, his most complete season at Palace, he successfully got 134 successful dribbles, which was second in the Premier League. 73.4% dribble success rate, which was the highest among players with over 100+ attempts. He got 4 goals and 11 assists in all competitions. He created 42 chances from open play. What made these statistics so remarkable was how he achieved them. Not through safe percentage play or percentage football, but through high-risk, high-reward play that electrified crowds. Alongside Wilfried Zaha, Bolasie formed one half of what many consider the Premier League's most entertaining wing duo of the 2010s. Their contrasting styles, Zaha's close control versus Bolasie's unpredictable explosiveness, created a perfect balance. Alan Pardew, who managed the pair at Palace, said this, When we had Bolasie and Zaha both firing, we were unplayable at times. They brought an X factor that tactical systems couldn't account for. They reminded everyone that football is entertainment first. The statistics support this view. In matches where both Bolasie and Zaha started during the 2015-16 season, Palace, well, they averaged 1.7 goals per game compared to just 0.9 when either was absent. Beyond the numbers, the most important thing was what Bolasie actually represented. In an increasingly dull footballing landscape where players were coached from childhood to minimize risk and maximize efficiency, he was gloriously, defiantly different. His freestyle skills, including the 7-step move, which is showcased in a viral video, it connected professional football back to its streets origins. He regularly participated in cage footballing events around London, bringing and bridging the gap between the Premier League's polished product and football's raw grassroots. Even cultural commentator Musa Akwanga noted this about Yannick Bolasie. He stated, Bolasie represented something vital. The idea that football isn't just about winning, but about expression. In him, many young players of African descent saw someone who hadn't compromised his playing identity just to succeed. In August of 2016, Bolasie's performances earned him a £25 million move to Everton. The fee represented an extraordinary journey for a player who was in Malta's second division just 7 years earlier.
Obviously, it's a big step for myself, playing for Crystal Palace was a difficult decision. Coming to Everton because I knew about the players here and the quality that runs throughout the club, with the training ground facilities and the supporters.
At Everton, he immediately formed a connection with Romelu Lukaku, providing 4 assists for the Belgian striker in his first 13 games. Then disaster struck. In December of 2016, Bolasie suffered a catastrophic knee injury against Manchester United, damaging his anterior cruciate ligament, medial ligament, and meniscus. The injury would keep him sidelined for 386 days. Lukaku later revealed, "When Yannick got injured, I lost my best friend at the club and my most important supplier. The way he could beat a man and find space was special."
Yeah, guys, what's happening? I just come out my second operation, so all the healing from the first operation has been great, according to my surgeon. Now I'm just in a little bit of pain, so but for the fans, thanks for the support. I'm gonna keep you updated through all my rehab. Take care, keep calm.
And that injury signaled the decline of his career. He could never really reignite himself at Everton. He managed to go out on a whole lot of different loans. He ended up at Sporting Lisbon, he ended up at Aston Villa, and later at Brazil. The man has had a lot of clubs ever since his glory days at Crystal Palace, and it seems like now, considering that he is in the twilight of his career, it seems like we will never really get to see the Yannick Bolasie of old. Though Bolasie never ever fully recaptured his pre-injury form, his impact on the Premier League remains significant. He showed that even in the age of data analytics and tactical discipline, there was still room for the unexpected, the creative, the joyful. And I know that he has inspired a new generation of Premier League wingers who now dare to take the ball at their feet, wingers that dare to play around with defenses, and wingers that dare to excite the crowd. And they are all following in the footsteps of Yannick Bolasie, combining athletic prowess with technical flair. And former England international Joe Cole, he said it best. He reflected that Bolasie reminded coaches that you can't drill everything. Sometimes you need to let players express themselves, make mistakes, try things. He brought playground football to the Premier League, and we were all better for it. But we will all remember, for 4 glorious seasons, Yannick Bolasie was the Premier League's most unpredictable performer and one of the most incredible wingers in the league. In a league increasingly defined by patterns and processes, he was wonderfully chaotic. A throwback to a time when football was played with imagination first and calculation second. In an era where wingers like JJ Okocha or Ronaldinho would allow the audience to be bewildered, the audience to be wowed by what they can do with the ball at their feet. Yannick Bolasie took us back to that moment, and we can only hope that another winger will come along and do exactly what Yannick Bolasie did. His legacy isn't measured in trophies or even in statistics, but in moments, flicks, tricks, and dribbles that reminded us why we fell in love with football in the first place. In bringing flair back to the Premier League, Bolasie didn't just entertain us, he preserved something essential about the game itself. Its capacity to surprise, to delight, and to make us believe that anything is possible. But the most important thing is, guys, I want you to let me know, what do you guys think of Yannick Bolasie? Or do you guys think that there was another winger during that time that was actually doing this exact thing? Let me know in the comments below, guys. And also, if you have any players that you want us to do a deep dive on in an upcoming video, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications so that you never miss another episode of The Footy Zone.